Excellent choice. X2 is without a doubt one of the summer's most anticipated films. The action, story, and entire look of the film is bigger and better than ever. By the way, pay attention to which room in a certain Washington, D.C. landmark was faithfully reproduced for the movie.
Hello, I'm Guy Dias, and I'm the production designer on the X-Men 2. My job is to conceptualize the overall look of the film. There are something like 68 sets in total. In this film, the X-Men actually sort of go out into the world and interact with other humans. So there was a lot of leeway to expand upon the original vision of the first film. So this is Magneto's plastic prison. The set is about 20 square feet. It's not very big at all. There are a number of props and pieces of furniture here to sort of help sell the idea that we really are in a plastic world. So here we are in the metal detection area. This space has basically been conceived to act as a transition between where Magneto is held and the outside world, which goes on beyond this wall. And so the set needed to have this sort of almost 2001 feel about it. And it really is a last sort of effort to make sure there's absolutely no metal on people before they go in to visit Magneto. We're here on the set of the White House. We're currently in the Oval Office. Over here we have a replica of the presidential desk, which has actually been handmade for the show. If you look up, you can see we actually don't have a ceiling. This was a requirement for the stunt crew who will be coming here and doing some amazing things. And you'll notice some of the moldings. We have an X up here, which actually does exist in the real White House. And we're here today at the X-Mansion set at Vancouver Studios. We have a sequence of events where the children are surprised in their beds and attacked and need to escape. So built into the set, we have a number of secret passages, and down at this end where they're currently shooting, we have a stunt wall where a couple of guys actually going to come flying through that wall.
And when it's all finished, here's a taste of what you can look forward to.
Doesn't it ever wake you in the middle of the night? The feeling that someday they will pass that foolish law and come for you and your children. Take you all away. It does indeed. I feel a great swell of pity for the poor soul who comes to that school looking for trouble. You haven't told about his past.
Who was he?
I can't remember. The war has begun. Eric, what have you done?
Get down. Ah, I see you've chosen the comedy Down with Love. Groovy. But dig this rap. Keep hip to the magazine Ewan McGregor's character, Catcher Block, writes for.
My name's Ewan McGregor, and I play Catcher Block in the new film Down with Love.
Are we rolling? For Christ's sake. Oh.
Okay, here we go. Pictures up and Roll sound. We're rolling.
Down with love. See, take 3.
Action!
We first established New York in 1963, and this is Grand Central Station behind us. This is where Barbara Novak, the character Renee Zellweger plays, first comes out.
Do you work for me? You're asking the audience to completely buy into the fact that it's a 60s film.
Hello, I'm David Hyde Pierce, and I play the character of Peter McManus. This was just gangbusters, and everyone just leapt into it.
Everything about it is just alive and vibrant. It's like that's what movies are for.
Down with Love takes place in the world of the sex comedies. It starred Rock Hudson and Doris Day, but with very much a 2003 spin on it all.
Mark it.
Down with Love stars Renee Zellweger as Barbara Novak, who writes a book called Down with Love that tells women that they need to take control of their lives in the workplace and also in their sex lives.
This is Barbara Novak.
Ewan McGregor plays Catcher Block, who is No Magazine's #1 journalist.
He's so suave and slick, you know? James Bond without the espionage.
Easy, baby. Careful you don't fall out.
He's a playboy, man's man, ladies' man, man about town, and he disagrees with everything that Barbara Novak stands for.
Barbara Novak's written a book that's ruining my life.
The book becomes this huge hit. Down with Love, just everyone on the planet reads it.
Down with Love changed my life.
She's turning the world on its head by suggesting that women should make love to men in the way that men make love to women, which is without feelings and whenever they want and with whoever they want.
The guys are screwed, but not, you know, the way they wish they were.
It's sexually motivated.
Get a load of those rockets.
Here's the anti-gravity.
Sex comedy's much funnier and better and classier and cooler. We know what people were wearing, and we've got the most kick-ass, amazing costumes to wear. So we've got all the elements, and that's the great thing about it. Oh, I do dig.
We have this entire scene where we're strutting with our outfits. You couldn't hope for anything more.
I think the audiences will definitely respond to the period. That early 60s aesthetic is just fantastic.
There's a great feeling on the set. There's a great bunch of people making this movie.
No, I'm not. Oh!
It's light, it's funny, it's romantic. You want to be transported, and this movie is beyond transporting. It'll shoot you right to the moon.
Yeah, Daredevil. This is the movie based on the Marvel Comics superhero who was blinded by radioactive waste as a boy, but at the same time, all his other senses became ultra-enhanced. It's worth noting which legendary martial arts choreographer created the unbelievable fight sequences for the film.
From 20th Century Fox and Regency Enterprises comes a new vision for the next Marvel Comics superhero, Daredevil.
This story and this character is something I've been interested in since I was a kid. I had written the foreword to a collection of the comic books, and it just seemed like such an obvious thing to do.
I read it and immediately thought, I want to do that.
It's a fantastic story. It's one of the most amazing sagas we have in the Marvel Universe.
As a child, I was drawn to the Daredevil comic books, so I really wanted this role very badly. Give me bullseye.
The devil's mine.
It's just so much fun, man. It really is.
It's a very gritty take on a comic book movie.
We were able to get such great people to play all these other parts. It seemed to me a very darkly romantic, mythic story.
What I love about Ben, besides being a great actor, is he's physically imposing.
He looks the part.
He's been working out really hard to get his body in shape. He's been lifting weights. He's been taking these karate lessons.
It required, 2 or 3 times as much work as any other movie. I tried to do as much as I possibly could.
Just because I think if there's a moment where you see, like, if you felt like it wasn't me, it would sort of take you out of the movie.
Ben Affleck has intensity that is necessary in this role. Elektra is Jennifer Gardner, who is hotter than hot.
She was not only the right choice because of her acting, but also because she had the physical ability and the training to do the stunts.
This flip off the wall that she actually does.
So she kicked my ass, man. She's a tough bird.
We hired Master Chen Yan, who did Chinese wire team acrobatics for The Matrix and Charlie's Angels.
Master Chen Yan choreographs it first, and then you do it over and over and over and over and over again. I did things that I never thought I would be able to do, you know, double flips in the air. It's incredible.
The fights are going to be so fun. Your eyes will be going everywhere all over the screen trying to follow it.
He's an amazing fighter. It's a big, big action adventure.
I'm really excited about how it looks and all the tricks and the flips and the fighting and stuff in the movie.
Russell Crowe. In Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, Russell Crowe plays Captain Jack Aubrey of the HMS Surprise. Set against the Napoleonic Wars, the three-masted wooden frigate gets caught in a deadly journey of high seas cat and mouse with the French ship Acheron. And speaking of unbelievable journeys, you're not going to believe what it took to faithfully recreate this era for film. Oh, make a note of which Australian director is occupying the far side of the camera. The massive scale of the production not only required the largest outdoor studio tank in the world, but also the facilities to coordinate the talents of hundreds of craftsmen and scores of extras.
We might have 100 extras in some of these biggest scenes we have. There are also 70 film crew members as well. People are everywhere. People are crowded and crouching in corners and hiding behind masks. The deck is choked with equipment, people, and everything.
It is all on one ship. It's basically one set. We, of course, had to break that one ship into a number of sets to make it physically possible to film on it. We have, obviously, a real ship at sea, which we've done a fair amount of work on.
The seaworthy set was actually a ship called the Rose, which started its 2-month journey in Rhode Island and made its way to the set in Mexico by way of the Panama Canal.
I love being out on the Rose. Some really magnificent days with an immense sense of freedom because we weren't connected to the land.
We have a replica of that in our tank in Rosarito, which has been very, very useful to do battle scenes and storm scenes. Obviously, night work you can't do on the natural ocean.
I was lucky enough to be able to be here and see it in its stages. So walking on board when it was finished was very exciting.
Our interior sets, we put on sound stages that surround us here on the tank, and that's allowed us the ability to run to a cover set if we had inclement weather. But it's been great because we have all the tools right here. And if we have to make a shift, the cast is here, the background is here, the sets we have are basically pre-lit, ready to go, and it's a very easy thing to shift our shooting schedule in the middle of the day if we have to.
Start the drums early even, get the blood flowing.
Background, playback.
Helming this massive undertaking is director Peter Weir, best known for the acclaimed films Witness and The Truman Show.
Peter is really the central element of the picture because almost everybody who came to the picture came to it because he was the person that was doing it.
We have a similar desire to get things right. It doesn't matter that it takes extra effort. It doesn't matter that it takes longer because you can live with it for longer then. If you've put the effort into it and you know that you've done what you can, you've given it your best.
It's sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be involved in a picture like this.
It's going to be a stunning experience, I think, in the theater.
Background, action. Action!
When you're spending 5 months on a remote set, clearly you've got to find a way to blow off a little steam and occupy your downtime. As you're about to see, the cast and crew of Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World were quite resourceful in this regard. It's not often that you find a group of actors from all over the world playing rugby in Mexico, but that's exactly what Russell Crowe and the cast did during the 5-month shoot of Peter Weir's exciting new film.
The rugby was put in place because I knew a certain percentage of guys would find the battle sequence difficult. It's not just doing it once, it's, 50, 60 takes of the same thing. If it's running up and down stairs or it's going up rigging or whatever. So I just created an opportunity for a kind of an intense aerobic training every weekend. This weekend is quite interesting though, because the French sailors from the Acheron have challenged the surprise to a game. I hear that there's some very experienced players on the French team. I've got my ragtag bunch of Welshmen, Englishmen, Americans and Canadians. But I think my ragtag bunch might have the edge.
Needless to say, the ragtag bunch took victory in their opponent's flag. And when the dust settles, the actors have only one other place to unwind in their spare time.
Early on, we realized that, obviously, for actors, there's downtime. So we came up with the idea of a monkey bar.
Rather than hanging out in trailers or dressing rooms, the actors have a communal space where they'd get together and enjoy themselves.
They have a pool table in there. They have internet connection, so you can keep in touch through email.
And there's also a rehearsal room that Russell set up with guitars and drum kit and bass and stuff, and people get together and play.
That's practice when I'm an unemployed actor working in Starbucks.
The only one rule was there was no TV in there, there was no watching movies, because they wanted it to feel like an officer's den, 1, 2, 3.
I mean, the sort of comradeship has been great, and I'm sure that you will see it up there. That these people spent 5 months in each other's pockets. Extraordinary feat that everybody gets on as well as they do.
Oh, back to war.
Yeah, and now, back to the battle.